Well, let's give you a live look now from our Salesforce camera toward the Marin headlands. It's been a pretty dry October, that is, up until now. And our Wilson Walker is live at Lake Sonoma with a look at where things stand with our water supply heading into the rainy season. So how's that reservoir looking, Wilson?
You know, I'm standing here thinking it kind of feels like we're covering, the aftermath of some atmospheric river at the back end of the winter when we're like, wow, look at Lake Sonoma looking so lush and full. It's crazy, right? Like we've kind of had no significant rainfall, really, that amounts to anything so far this year, and we're still reaping the rewards of the last 2 years, which were, of course, very good, and then kind of okay, which is good enough, right? In the grand scheme of things, a good year and a normal year is pretty good batting average as far as what we've seen in the last, say, 20 years, right? So how are things looking here at the lake? It's partially the weather. It is also partially a story that goes back 10 years, and it's paying off now.
Oh, since the lake was built. Yeah, so that's what, in the 80s sometimes?
Up from Cloverdale, Ken has been fishing on Lake Sonoma as long as it has been here, and this, he will tell you, is a very healthy late October.
Yeah, well, they filled it pretty full last winter, and that makes it fuller now.
Yeah, to date, I think we probably have more water in Lake Sonoma at this date than we have for years and years. Lake Sonoma right now is 88% of capacity, which is pretty amazing at this October date before any substantial rains.
Supervisor David Rabbit is chair of the Sonoma Water Board of Directors. He says Lake Sonoma has benefited from 2 solid years of rain and changes to the management of the reservoir. In years past, they have released more water than they thought was necessary in anticipation of big weather events.
And that really had to do with the 1954 rule book that they were using at the time, and we thought we could do better.
That is finally changing. The last 2 years of good rain have coincided with the improved forecasting, and the payoff has been something in the ballpark of a 10% increase in storage.
In this last couple of years, we've been able to implement FIRO on Lake Mendocino and to a certain degree on Lake Sonoma, and it's really been beneficial for us in terms of, having a larger quantity of water behind the reservoir, or behind the dam, through these really, volatile weather years.
All right, now it all goes back to an experience they had here 10 years ago. They were expecting an atmospheric river, which they thought was going to drop a large amount of water in this watershed. So they let a lot of water out of the lake, about 30,000 acre feet. And guess what happened? It did not rain. So that frustration compelled them to come up with this sort of idea of better forecasting. And now, 10 years later, it is starting to pay off with some changes in how they wait until the last minute, see what the storm really does, and it is already saving them water. We actually talked to the director from Sacramento today, where he was telling other water agencies about this improved forecasting and the savings that it is providing here. And they're talking about taking that to the rest of the state. So yeah, rain pays off, but then making the most out of the rain pays off even more, Ryan. So good news as we start the rain year up here at Lake Sonoma.
Yeah, good to see the water supply is doing well. Also, stay dry because Paul says some sprinkles are headed your way. All right, thanks, Wilson Walker, reporting live at Lake Sonoma.